But two that I like to highlight are the Rusty LT program, which covers distance learning and telemedicine in rural communities, as well as the NSF Cyber Infrastructure program, which is geared towards higher ed. Those are two programs that have technology at their focus. Cyber infrastructure is more of a planning program that helps to address long-term cyber infrastructure or technology infrastructure planning within the higher educational system and for those individual institutions. We also have the distance learning and telemedicine program, which is about helping to deliver resources through technology, whether you're in a rural community or in a more metropolitan or suburban community, as long as the impact area is a rural community. So that will kind of depend on, I don't know if everybody here on this event would benefit from a program like that, but we've seen that's a common one within education. That's common for healthcare, colleges, and those trying to deliver, let's say, training courses from where they're at. You can use as an example, let's say the city of Orlando. If there is UCF that's delivering rural training to someone in, let's say, rural North Florida. That's how that program would work. I think one of our previous discussions, we also discussed the process of vetting and determining where you would fit or where you would align with the grant program. Just want to kind of touch on that again. As you're looking at what types of grants could be available for you, you want to make sure that your goals for your project align with the available priorities. Different grants are going to have different priorities, but anytime that you're looking at a grant, you don't necessarily want to look at the technology that you're looking to purchase or what it is that you need from a technology standpoint. It's the impact. It's the priority in that. And we've seen a couple of grants come out with a priority focused on technology, like the NSF Cyber Infrastructure Program, but those are rare. More often, you're going to see grant programs that are dedicated to, let's say, distance learning and telemedicine, where technology is a part of that, but the goal is to increase the delivery of training resources, medical resources, educational materials to individuals in isolated areas or areas that are not as resource rich or have access to those resources as frequently and as often. So when you're looking at, let's say, a local government entity, what's the impact you're trying to make? Is it public safety? Is it professional development? Is it education? Are you supporting administrative functions? Do you manage any utilities? And would this project you're working on assist with the delivery of those utilities or help to secure those utilities, which can also have a public safety component built into that as well. Within education, both at the K-12 and the higher ed level, we've seen STEM as a priority in a variety of programs. So anything that you do, if there's a way that it touches STEM, trying to determine how your upcoming projects impact that STEM environment would help you to determine which types of programs you may be able to utilize. Also, when we're looking at larger entities, or if we're looking at those within the nonprofit space, private sector, but nonprofit, those are the same ways that you're looking at those. What's the service area? What's the impact? How does your particular technology project impact a particular high priority area or the particular priority areas of that grant? So I know it can be a bit of a challenge, and this is why we always try to remind folks we have those grant support resources in place to assist you with your grant strategy, research and development efforts, writing efforts, as well as post-award and management projects. But it can be a rather long process to find the right grant for you, to write a good application and to win that grant. But you're going to want to make sure you go through those steps, because it's better to go through that long process than to go and try to do it quickly and strike out, or worse, you get something, you win something, you don't know what to do with it, or you've requested it for something that's not exactly what you need it for. So grants can be a rather involved process, but they are incredibly high impact, incredibly high value. And if we are taking the time to go through those with you and go through slowly, we can find something for you. It'll just depend on, what the impact area is, what your goals are, and how that aligns with those available priorities. And also remember, timeline of grant is almost more important than anything else. If you only have, a week or 2 weeks to turn something around, it's probably not going to be worth it. But if you can find it at the right time and give yourself a good window, like the DLT program is an annual one, it comes around every year. I believe it's supposed to be in the fall, but this one opened up in the beginning of this year. I'm not sure if it'll go back to its normal fall deadline or go back to or continue to be at the beginning of the year. We're waiting to get clarity on that. That NSF program that's open to colleges is going to be open in September of this year, reopening in September of this year. So those are things to keep track of as well as you're looking at programs. What's the timeline? What's the priority? What's the impact area? And how does my technology project align with that impact area? I know that's a lot to throw at everyone, but again, feel free to reach out to us if you're looking for more clarity, any assistance in any way, and we'll do our best to support you. But I'd like to end my time now and make sure I pass it off to Dan and Matt so they can go into the technical stuff.